One of my cousins has a deep voice. He always tells me how women compliment him on his voice. This is the reaction that you want to have.
Hello?
What up, baby?
Imagine if you could have that reaction every time you spoke. People just went crazy. Right now, I imagine you probably don't like hearing your voice very much. And on top of that, people probably don't take you very seriously, do they? You've never had a girl come up to you and say they like how you sound. And honestly, for a long time, neither did I. I didn't know how to actually speak. I didn't know where my voice should come from. And so I would just talk the way I normally talked, not realizing that if I actually spoke the way I do now, things would be a lot different for me. This is what I used to sound like when I spoke. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, I'm going to be talking about self-improvement. That was about 2 years ago. I'm 25 years old now. That was when I was 22, 23 years old. I was a fully grown adult. My voice had already dropped, and I still couldn't speak the way that I do now. So I'm going to tell you exactly how anybody can make their voice deeper. Now, a full disclaimer, if your voice sounds like this when I normally talk, you're not going to bring it down all the way. But anybody that I know that speaks and uses this method gets a deeper voice, and it always works. So I'm going to tell you exactly how you do that. There's really 3 steps that you have to take in order to get a deeper voice. And the first thing that you have to do is you have to set an intention that you're going to want to speak deeper. What that really means is that you put it into your mind that I want a deeper voice, that I'm going to speak with a deeper tonality. And that's the first step. That's it. You're done. If you put it in your mind, good job. The next thing is you're going to need to practice this. So first thing you need to practice is breathing fully, because right now you're probably not even breathing fully. You're not even breathing right. And so if you're not breathing right, how can you speak right? Take a deep breath until you feel it in the bottom of your stomach. That's where you want to start speaking from. That's your diaphragm, right? I didn't know that that's how I was supposed to speak. So I used to just speak from my throat. And that's the biggest problem. If you breathe in deeply and then flex your abs, you can feel that muscle inside, and that's your diaphragm. You should almost feel the words coming from that depth inside of you and not from your throat. If you're speaking from your throat, you will never have a deep voice. Sometimes even I forget this. And when I forget this, I notice that my voice sounds completely different. So the next thing I want you to do is just practice speaking in a lower tone, speaking lower than what you're normally used to. And speak until it's almost at the point where you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like, this is not what my voice should sound like. Okay, so bring it up just a little bit. This is probably more comfortable for you. Now, if you find that sweet spot for yourself, stay there. You can't go much deeper than what your natural tonality allows for, but you can definitely bring it down more than what you've been doing right now. So the third thing is exactly how you do it. How you do it is you start speaking from that low place. Take that deep breath when you speak, and then speak from there. Feel your stomach muscles flexing as you talk. And the thing is, this is what singers have to do, because most singers try to sing from their throat, but you can't get the full breadth of your voice by singing from your throat. So they teach singers to sing from their diaphragm, and you can see that their voices get significantly better. And at first you have to be mindful and intentional when you start. But then after a while, it just becomes an automatic behavior. So at first it's gonna take a little while for you when you're using your deeper tone to actually get the result, because you're gonna have to be thinking about it all the time. You'll be in a conversation with somebody and you'll be like, is my voice sounding deep? And that's normal. You have to let yourself be a little bit uncomfortable while you're consciously using your brain to think about the fact that my voice can go down here. And another tip when you're speaking, if you want to have a deep voice, this is one people don't really talk about very much, but it's called down tone. So down tone is just as important as the depth of your voice, because that's what tells people that you're confident in what you're saying. Now imagine if I didn't use down tone. It would sound like this. I didn't really know what to buy. I just bought what I thought would give me the best result. Do you see how that sounds like I don't really know what I'm saying? It's like the tonality shifts upwards. You want your tonality to shift down. So whenever you're speaking, shift your tonality down. If you speak right now and you speak like this, people just get the effect that you're not certain about what you're saying. So learn to use that down tone to get you the deeper voice and then the confident effect at the end. Now I want you to do something to practice this really quickly, and this is super important because I didn't even know how different it was. Take out your phone, go on your voice recorder, and I want you to speak from your diaphragm and record it. And then I want you to speak how you normally speak. Here's what I sound like. If I'm speaking from my throat and I'm not thinking about it, I'm not being intentional, I sound like this. But if I actually take my voice and I speak with my stomach, my diaphragm, it becomes completely different than this. Because this is what I would naturally sound like if I wasn't thinking about it. But when I actually think about it, I realize, wait, my voice has way more power than I've been giving off. Those are the things that you can do. I guarantee you, you take 1 month to 2 months and just make this your intention to be speaking from here. After a while, you won't even have to think about it. It will just be how you naturally speak. And we're supposed to speak from our diaphragm. It's actually a shame that nobody taught us that your voice comes from your stomach and not from your throat. So here we are sounding like little children, nobody's taking us seriously, and you lose that edge. One of my cousins has a deep voice. He always tells me how women compliment him on his voice. This is the reaction that you want to have.
Sound like
You're accurate. You're completely accurate.
He doesn't look like what he sounds like.
Remember how everyone thought Donkey was
I feel
black?
like your voice is touching me. Is that a weird thing to say?
Yes, Pokey, that is a weird thing to
Oh,
say.
sorry.
When girls hear your voice, this right here, imagine if you could have that reaction every time you spoke. People just went crazy. You can have that at least a little bit closer than what you're doing right now. And if you don't get that result, okay, fine. But at least people take you more seriously and you know you're confident in the fact that your vocal tone sounds exactly how you want it to. And as a man, you can be taken seriously because you speak from your core. You're speaking your truth and it's coming from inside. It's not coming from up here. So don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Peace.